I'm just saying what he gave.
No, that's
Israel. Trying to live right in this wicked kingdom. Our time is coming real soon.
It's been a long time, but it's coming real soon. It's gonna be okay, so I can't stop. I won't stop. Israel, don't stop. Everything that you're going through, suffering, trying to stay faithful in the truth. I know it's hard, don't stop. Don't stop. Israel, don't stop. When that day comes, when the cheers come in the sky, everybody's gonna know when I don't know. It's the music, I'm the chosen. Oh, we wanna see that place. It's a big song. We're the chosen ones. We gon' get the king. You believe what the Bible says. Get ready for the good times up ahead. I'm telling you, don't stop. Stay focused, child. In a minute, we gon' be in the kingdom. Yeah. You don't believe it, I don't really care. I just wanna be there. Israel, if you're with me, let me know you're with me. Say yeah. When the chance comes now, everybody's gonna know why. They gon' know it's gonna be the same. The chosen one is the kingdom again. I see that day. I'm so happy that I don't know what is there. Oh, what a happy day. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah. When the chance
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody's gonna know why. It's gonna be the song. We're the chosen people. Oh, yeah. Our enemies. Oh, yeah. I wanna see it's gonna be the song. We're the chosen ones. We gon' get the kingdom, yeah. See, the Bible says that it's a righteous name to recompense tribulation to those that trouble you. We gon' get the kingdom, yeah. After everything they did, we gon' get them back. We gon' get the kingdom, yeah. I know some of y'all don't like that, but that's the truth. Oh yeah.
All praise, honor, and magnificent glory is unto our Elohim, the Elohim of Abraham, and the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. To our uncrowned King, Yeshua Mashiach, we give him praise, honor, and great glory. The provider, the creator, the sustainer of our life, the creator and possessor of all things. He on his way back. And when he get here, he gonna get it straight for Israel, because of Israel, and between Israel. He will have a day of rest when all will be made right, when all will be made straight. Don't get caught on the other side of the wrath of the line of the tribe of Yehudah. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, he is one God. Hear, O Israel, Baruch Hatat Adonai Eloheinu Akkad. He is one God. You better hear, you better listen, you better do, and you better continue therein. All praises to the Elohim of Israel. To our brothers and sisters in the faith, as always, we salute you. We back in the building. D-Roll the Truth Tellers with me. I got my little brother in here with me tonight. Say something to the people, bro.
Shabbat shalom, family. Shabbat shalom. Good to be back before y'all.
All praises, brother. Thank y'all, the brothers and sisters that's in the chat. Thank y'all once again for tuning in. We back on another eve of Shabbat day, Shabbat night, excuse me. About to get into the evening. Sun ain't really just set yet, so we right there at the precipice. Want to put some on y'all brain tonight. The title of the lesson is The Day and the Year and Rest of the Messiah's Kingdom, the Intermission. Taking a pause for the cause. We're finna get into some word studies. We're gonna get into some scripts. I was just telling my little brother, we coming out of Purim. One showcase or one time the Most High showed us redemption. And we going into Passover, Pesach. The redemption. When Yeshua Mashiach left the heavens, left being by the side of the Abba. He come down and save our souls from damnation. From deliverance to deliverance, from glory to glory. This is the time of the year we need to be dead serious about everything we saying, everything we doing, and everything we thinking. Mm-hmm. So with that, brother, we're going to get into this lesson. I'm going to share my screen, as always. I'm going to share my screen, bro, and then we're going to get into the lesson. I'm going to pull my PowerPoint up. And I'm going to go entire screen. Share it. I'm going to bring it on in the room. D-Ro, before we get into the scriptures, I got 2 slides I want to share with the brothers and sisters. So as we get into these scriptures, they can reminisce back on some of the things we about to talk about. Let me get my phone. Let me do a double check on the. Hey, D-Ro, can you see my screen share?
Yes, it's clear. It's good.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I can't see nothing once I got my PowerPoint up.
Yeah, we good.
So, all right, all praises. So 2 things we're going to talk about, 3 things we're going to talk about on this first slide. And y'all just bear with your brother. We're going to do a few little word studies, both in the Hebrew and the English. We're going to be looking at, you're going to hear this word throughout the lesson, Jubilee. Jubilee is a clamor, that is an acclamation of joy or even a battle cry. And it's going to be an acclamation of joy during Passover, but it's going to be a battle cry during atonement. Especially a clangor of trumpet. So all the feast days, you're supposed to sound a horn. Even in the new moon, you're supposed to blow up the trumpet in the new moon. It's an alarm. Joy, jubilee, loud noise, rejoicing. So we should be coming into the feast days and definitely into the day of rest, even the weekly Shabbat with rejoicing. All right. Now that word Shabbat, we're going to break that word Shabbat down. Now, when you take out the sharuk and the ayin, the vowel sounds out of that word, you got 3 letters. You got the tav, the resh, and the hey. I'm sorry. I'm jumping. I'm talking about 2 ra, 2 ra, which is the word jubilee. I'm jumping down too quick. So we're looking at jubilee or 2 ra. So when you take out the race, not the race, the sharuk and the ayin, it leaves you with those 3 letters, tav, resh, and hey, which equal up to 12. Now, I'm bringing this out for a reason. It's going to make sense at the end of the lesson. When you put these letters together, you take the numerical value of it. You got 12 tribes, 12 jubilees that we're going to be having to go through before the end of time. And you got the 12 manner of fruit, which represent also the 12 tribes of Israel. So the jubilee is only for the 12 tribes. I know that don't sound good, and The other nations that who may look at this lesson, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But it's just what it is. I'm kicking facts. This ain't no prejudice or nothing. Hey, if you're married to a heathen, I'm just giving it to you. Yeah, you can be in the kingdom, but you're going to be a servant. We got other lessons to prove all that. The next word we're going to be looking at is the Sabbath, because the Sabbath is the day of rest, which is pointing to Yeshua's kingdom. One of the main words I want to bring out for the Sabbath, when you look that word up in Concord, it means intermission. It means intermission. I found that interesting because intermission is a short interval between acts of a play or part of a public performance, usually a period of approximately 10 to 15 minutes, allowing the performers and the audience to rest. Now, I just brought out about the 12 tribes. So now we know who the performers are and we know who the audience is. And there's going to be a time in the year or the day of rest or the intermission that a lot of people it's going to be, it ain't y'all put it like that. Now the word Shabbat is Shin, Beit, and Tav. It equals up to 6. When you go break down numerical, 6,000 years. 6 is the number of man, and 6 is the letter Vav or Yeshua. He's going to end the 6,000 year and begin the 7,000 year reign. So the Shabbat is pointing to Yeshua's kingdom. So I've used this slide here a couple of times in a couple of different lessons for a couple of different reasons, but I'm going to go through it real quick. Man was created on the 6th day. On the 6th day, time started over. So on the 6th day, time started over, and you go through the 12. On the 12th day, right there, you see right here, the 7,000 years is up from here to here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right here, on the 7th day, at the end of the 7,000 years after man was created, it's pointing to Christ's kingdom. So man was created on the 6th day. And 7,000 years or 7 days after that, it's going to be Christ's kingdom. Now you add that up, what does that come to? It comes to 12. You see that? 6 days plus this right here on the 7,000 years, that's going to be 12. Once again, going back to the previous slide, it's only talking about Israel on the day of rest. It ain't talking about nobody else on the day of rest. Now, I'm not going to go through all these scriptures up here because, again, I keep this slide like this because it's used for many different lessons for many different reasons. But we're going to look at Leviticus 12 here shortly. That's pointing toward the Father's kingdom when it talks about a woman in her unclean state or her menstrual state. We're going to look at that as well. So from the creation to the Father's kingdom is 14,000 years. Or 80 jubilees, and you can go read that in that Leviticus, the 12th chapter. I want to bring your attention to something down here. Right now, they say we in the Hebrew year, we in 5,784. A lot of people say, well, I don't believe that. Well, if you go to the Gregorian year and you add up this number right here, 5784, it comes up to 24. What year are we in? On the Gregorian year, we in 2024. So no matter where you're looking at it from the Hebrew perspective or the Gregorian perspective, the Most High clock is working either way.
So you're saying, bro, we got roughly like 9,000 some years to go before the
This is what all I'm saying. This is what I'm saying on all of this is that
right.
We don't know the day of the hour.
Yeah.
But as you can see, 784 down to 6,000, time is up. Now, we don't know exactly when time started. I mean, this is just going on what man said, whether it be a Hebrew year or Gregorian year. But I can say this. We can go back in history and see when where they say Adam was created or Adam was on the earth, and you can see the clock is ticking. You can see the clock is ticking. Now, there was a lot of strange signs in the heavens this past or a couple of weeks ago. And even if you want to go on the Gregorian calendar, that eclipse not only happened on the new moon of the new year, but it happened on the 8th day of the month. All these things point to something. And it's all pointing to the day or the year or the rest or the millennial kingdom or the intermission, however you want to look at it. Everything that we do, everything that's in this book, everything is mathematically, scientifically, psychologically, spiritually, and prophetically. There's something going on around you all the time, and we have to be sensitive to the Ruach to know when something's in the wind. Now, hurry up. If you want to, go ahead and take a screenshot of this. You can go get these scriptures out and study them for yourself. I'm not going to go through this whole thing because we got to get in the scriptures. All right. But I'm going to give you about a few more seconds to take a picture of this. You can go study all this on your own. Like I said, we've used this slide in, I think, 2 other lessons before. And if you want to go do some studying on your own, give you a couple of seconds, and then we're going to move on to the next. We're going to get into the scriptures. All right. All right. Let's get into the script, bro. The day of rest. We're going to the first script. We're going to go to Luke, the 4th chapter. Luke, the 4th. Oh, man, I can't. Let me do something real quick, family. Y'all bear with me real quick. Let me do this. Turn this down. That way I can see what's going on. All right, family. We're going to Luke, the 4th chapter, starting at verse 16, Hebrew. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right, so we have Luke chapter 4, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, and he came up to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. Okay,
stop right there. So I'm talking to my Sunday Christian brothers and sisters, quote unquote. If you say you're a Christ follower and you say you follow after Christ, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. Now, I know the answer is going to be, well, Sunday's my Sabbath or every day is my Sabbath. Well, you can't cook, you can't work, you can't do none of your pleasures, you can't spend no money, you can't do none of that stuff on the Sabbath day. So if every day is your Sabbath, how are you going to take care of your family, feed your family, clothe yourself, feed yourself, all that? When you can't, if every day your Sabbath, you ain't supposed to be doing no cooking. So the scripture said he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read, not hooping, hollering, dance down the aisle and shake it up and shake it down. Continue to read, Hebrew.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. Mm-hmm. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, mm-hmm. to preach deliverance to the captives, mm-hmm. and recovering of sight to the blind, mm-hmm. set at liberty them that are bruised.
Right.
To preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, mm-hmm. This day is the scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bear him witness and the word proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son?
Hold on, bro. Hold on. All right. I'm back in the game now. Got those second generation bots just came in the building. Hold on, let me get back in the game. All right. So where you stop at, Hebrew?
22.
You stopped at 22. Good. So he said when he got through reading that scripture from Isaiah, he said he closed up the book. Now he only read verses 1 and 2 of that Isaiah 61 because he said today this scripture is fulfilled in your eye. And that part of the scripture he fulfilled by not only being on earth but being in the synagogue because he was doing all types of miracles, release, healing the brokenhearted, and preaching deliverance to the captives, recovering the sight to the. He did all that. He didn't read the other part of Isaiah 61 because the other part of Isaiah 61 won't be until the day of his rest. When he come back as the Lion of Judah, and you want to go read that later on your own, finish that out, and you will see what I'm talking about. So let's go to the book of Adam and Eve. Let me get my screen share up. We go on to the life of Adam and Eve. We go into chapter 51. We just gonna read 3 verses of script. If you got the pseudo volume 2, it's on page 294. Let me pull up in the room for the brothers and sisters who don't have it. Dero, you got that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right, when you get it, go ahead and read.
All right. After this, all her children buried her with great weeping.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when they had mourned for 4 days, the archangel Michael appeared to them and said to Seth, "Man of God, do not prolong mourning. You're dead more than 6 days, because the 7th day is a sign of the resurrection, the rest of the coming of age, and on the 7th day, the Lord rested from all his works." Then Seth made the tablets.
So here we have the death of Mama Eve. And Michael's giving out a couple of instructions to their son Seth. And he said, make no more mourning for the dead more than 6 days. Now, you can go read this in other scriptures too. It shouldn't be no long, prolonged mourning for the dead. All right? And he said, one of the main reasons why is that the 7th day is a sign of resurrection. The 7th day is a sign of the rest of the coming age. And on the 7th day, the Lord gonna rest from all his works. Because the Most High is still working even today. Me and his brother talking a little bit about it today. The water in the rivers and the oceans are still moving. The fish are still swimming. The birds are still chirping. The grass is still growing. And they only know to do that because the one who created them is giving them orders. Still to this day. Yeshua said it. He said, I work hereunto and does my Father work. So the weekly Sabbath is only pointing or showing the coming age. That's why he told Moshe to kill that man for picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. Because his mind was not looking toward the rest. I look forward to the Shabbat day. My body shuts down on the Shabbat day. Because I have programmed, and we need to be able to program ourselves to shut everything down, if possible, on the Shabbat day. Now, don't get me wrong. The scripture said that the Sabbath was made for man. Man wasn't made for the Sabbath. You got some stuff you got to take care of. By all means, if it needs be, do that. But you ought to have a internal clock in your mind and in your body that, man, the Sabbath is coming on. And you need to understand how important this Sabbath is, because as we get into these scriptures, you're going to see that this ain't nothing to be played with, because it's pointing to something greater. A day, well, we're going to get into it. I ain't going to give it away. Let's go to the next script. We still in Pseudo Picker for volume 1. We going to the time of the Greco-Roman Empire. We're going to let me pull it back up so everybody see it real quick. And then we're going to go back to the script. It's the Hellenistic synagogue prayers. And these were the Hebrews that were scattered abroad during the Greco-Roman Empire. They were in synagogue, but they were even being Hellenized then, and that's why the title of this book is called the Hellenistic Synagogue Prayer. But it was something here I want to share with the brothers and sisters. So let me pull it back up in the room. It's on page 682. We still invited to 682. Let me get this typed up. All right, and we're going to pick it up in chapter 5 and verse 1. Oh, I got off on that. Hold on. Chapter 5. There we go. Chapter 5 and verse 1. We're going to read verses 1 through 3, Hebrew. Make sure I got everything I want on that. And then, I forgot to put, we're going to read verses 1 through 3. Then we're going to skip down and read 13 through 24. Okay?
All right.
All right. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
O Lord, Almighty One, you created the cosmos through Christ and marked out a Sabbath day for a remembrance of his, because on it you rested from the works of creation in order to give attention to your own laws.
Stop. In order to give attention to your own law, you created a Sabbath day to give attention to his laws. Understand what this guy is saying. You marked out a Sabbath day for remembrance because you rested from your work in order to give attention to every law that's in play right now. Like I said, from the creation laws to the Davarim, the Esel Davarim, the 10 words, the 10 commandments, the 630. This day was created. Everything is pointing toward this day of rest. Everything that's going on in this earth, everything that's going on in history is going down to this 1,000-year rest. Continue to read, brother.
Verse 3. And you appointed festivals for the gladdening of our souls, so that we may come into remembrance of the wisdom created by you.
Of the what?
Of the wisdom created by you.
So everything, when you're going into these feast days, when you're going into these festival days, it should be a remembrance of the wisdom of the laws of creation, the laws of man, the Davarim. Everything should be, when you're in these festivals, not only you come through with rejoicing, but it should be in your mind, man, this is pointing to Christ's kingdom. And then after that, the Father's kingdom. And he created, when you go back to that proverb, it's talking about how wisdom created everything, and wisdom is Christ. It's still pointing to Christ. In verse 3, it says wisdom. In verse 1, it says Christ. So it's still pointing to his kingdom in the culmination of everything that's ever gone on in this world up until that point. Now let's skip down. Let's skip down to verse 13. We're going to read 13 through 24 Hebrew. If you got it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right. You gave them a law. 10 oracles.
Yes, sir.
By your voice and engraved by your hand. You commanded them to keep the Sabbath, not giving an excuse for laziness, but rather an opportunity for reverence toward God.
See that? And right there, Hebrew. Yeah, it's a day of rest, but it's not to give you an excuse to be lazy.
Yeah.
But and which I know, hey, get your rest, ain't you? But hey, here's the deal. Rather to be in reverence toward Yah. This is what your mind ought to be on Sabbath day. You shouldn't have, see, with all he telling you need to be cognizant of, how do you have time for all the rest of the foolishness and folly that you partake in on the Sabbath day? If your mind is focused on this, looking toward Yeshua's kingdom is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead and finish, bro.
Where am I? Okay, but rather an opportunity for reverence toward God, for knowledge of your power, for hindrance of evil, as if having confined them in a holy circumference, for the sake of teaching, for the exalt joy of the number 7. Because of this, you appointed 1 7 and 7 sevens, and a 7th month, and a 7th year.
Now, the 7th year, talking about the Jubilee, Well, not when you go to 49 Jubilee, 49 sevens or 49 years, then it's a Jubilee. But I want to bring something to y'all attention that we're going to be dealing with in the coming weeks. Because of this, you appointed 1 7, 7 sevens, and a 7th month. Now, we're going to come back to this scripture in this next lesson that we're going to be talking, well, not the next one, but one on down the road. And I'm bringing it to your attention because we're going to deal with that 7th month and that 70th year. But we know the 70th year is the 7,000 year. But go ahead and read, bro.
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And with this, a year for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Each 50-year cycle.
That's the Jubilee.
So that men might have no excuse to pretend ignorance.
Mm.
For this reason, every Sabbath you permitted them not to work, so that one would desire to let drop from his mouth a word spoken in anger on that day of the Sabbath.
So right there, every time y'all mess up on the Sabbath day, y'all treading on thin ice. When the devil rises up in your house and your husband or your wife on the Shabbat day, you better squelch it down quick. It shouldn't be no words of anger in your mouth on the Shabbat day. It shouldn't be no hate and envy in your heart because it ain't going to be none of that in Yeshua kingdom. Everybody in the Yeshua's kingdom that does that, it ain't in this lesson, it's going to be in the next one. You're going to get your head hit. You're going to get a warning. No, that's not the way. A voice going to come to you and tell you, no, that's not the way. And if you keep on, then, hey, judgment going to come down because Yeshua going to be sitting right here on this earth. Go ahead, brother.
19.
Mm-hmm.
For the Sabbath is a rest from creation.
For who?
A rest from creation.
Okay.
A completion of the cosmos. A seeking out of laws.
Mm-hmm.
Thankful praise to God on behalf of those things which he has freely given to men. All of which the Lord's day surpasses, showing forth the mediator himself, the lawgiver, the cause of resurrection, the firstborn of all creation, the divine word, and man, the one born of Mary alone, without a error, who lived holily as a citizen, crucified under Pontius Pilate, and having died, is also the one having arisen from the dead. As the Lord's day, it advises us to offer to you, O Master, thanksgiving on behalf of everything.
Now I want to ask a question. And I want everybody, you ain't got to answer it in the chat, and you ain't got to say it out loud. But how many Shabbat days? How many Shabbat days now? Be honest with yourself. That you did opposite of this? How many Shabbat days did you not give thanks? How many Shabbat days did you have anger, hate, malice, wrath on the Shabbat day? Because you just read, this brother just read, this day surpasses all the days. Showing forth the mediator, the supervisor, the lawgiver, the cause of the resurrection, the firstborn of all creation, divine word, and man. So when you violate on the Shabbat day, you coming against all this right here. You think, you feel like you special that you gonna get a pass. In the Israelite community, the Shabbat day supposed to be the most peaceful, holy day of the week. I ain't going into no detail. A couple of Shabbat ago, I think maybe the last Shabbat, I was talking to some brews, and the conversation started getting into worldly matters and worldly things. And my real peeked in there, and she looked at him. She said, "Hey, she slipped me a little note. She said, conversation, hey, you don't need to be doing on Shabbat day."
Oh,
I just got about feeling like, who you talking to? I'm the man.
Hey, all praises.
But you know what I did?
Yeah.
I said, look at it, brother. I immediately switched the conversation back to the script.
Did.
See, your rib can check you.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. And the worst thing I could have done was got in my feelings on the Shabbat day. Man, who you think he talking to, man?
You'd have brought sin upon sin.
Come on, brother.
Shoot.
See, that was the Most High pulling my coattail.
Yes.
Through my rib. See, we got to understand when correction comes, particularly on the Shabbat day and any day, that, hey, brother, best thing you do, put your hand on your mouth, marinate on it, and then get in line. Ego and pride out the door. Because when you don't, you coming against all of that what this brother just read. Read that 24, bro. Let me slide down for the people. Read that 24. What does it say?
For this is the grace which has been furnished by you, which by its magnitude covered over every other good deed.
It covered over every other good deed. Everything that he did, and he does for the Shabbat or the day of rest or the millennial kingdom, man, this circumvents everything. Everything is pointing to this. All the laws are pointing to this. All the prophecies are pointing to this. Everything is being pointed to. Everything is being said, done, written down, pointing to the intermission before the Father gets here. So we need to be cognizant of these things when we are going to the Shabbat or going into the Shabbat or in the Shabbat. Watch your mouth. Watch your conversation. Watch your mindset. Watch what you're doing. Because if you can't get the weekly Shabbat right, how you going to be in the millennial kingdom? If you can't get the weekly Shabbat, this the rehearsal. Didn't he say the Shabbat is an intermission? You on the movie, on the stage, they have an intermission? You ain't been rehearsing right all this time. You ain't played your part all this time. How you going to get to the, you understand what I'm saying? You're not going to be there. I'm just going to put it out there plain. All right, let's go back to the next, let's get to the next script, Hebrew. Back to the slide. We're going to Leviticus to 25. Leviticus to 25. We're finna see a lot of spiritual things in a lot of these ordinances and laws we about to start reading. Leviticus 25. And this is talking about the Jubilee year. We just got to read about all the different sevens. 7 times 7 is 40. He said the 7 and the 7, that's 49. And the day after that, which represents Pentecost, is the Jubilee year. All right. We're going to Leviticus to 25. We're going to read verses 1 through. Y'all put y'all mark in Leviticus 25. I'm going to be back and forth in Leviticus 25 throughout the lesson. Definitely the first part of the lesson, but all throughout the lesson. So put your marker in Leviticus 25. I will in Leviticus 25, verse 1, brother. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right, so we have Leviticus chapter 25, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. So
we're gonna read it in Jubilee. I'm gonna read it like the world reading. Speak unto all God's children and say unto them. No, I don't say that. He said, speak unto the children of Israel. When they come into the land, y'all gonna keep the Sabbath. When you go read it in Jubilees, it says the same thing. Even Angel Michael told Moshe, hey, look, he picked out him one people before time was. He picked out one people to share the Sabbath with him. Now, the sad part about that, most of Israel doing a 7-day rest or the millennial Sabbath, and on into the Father King gonna be in the lake of fire. That's the sad part about 2/3. But he only gave it to you, Israel. Continue to read.
Verse 3. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field. 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard. And the fruit thereof. 6
years, brother. Now I'm bringing your attention to this 6 years because this is 6,000 years of man. 6 is the number of man. Man was created on the 6th day. So 6 years, Yeshua is going to be in his vineyard working. For 6,000 years, I meant to say. For 6,000 years, Yeshua, he working his vineyard. But in that 7,000 years, hey man, it's time to gather in the crops. Thus the 7th month, talking about tabernacles, there's going to be a gathering in the 7th month or the 7,000 years. There's going to be, so you better get it right here. Keep reading.
Verse 4. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the Lord, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard.
You see that? Ain't gonna be no work being done in the 7,000 years. So when Yeshua get back, man, look at here. Ain't gonna be no more. Look, I'm telling y'all, at the end of the 6,000 years, the book says it's gonna be a famine in the land for the word of the Most High. Ain't gonna be no sowing no seeds that way either. See, we looking at the spiritual side of this day of Jubilee. Yeah, we know we got physical and natural laws. We was farmers and everything. We had to go back, but this is what he really telling you in these scriptures. Read that verse. No, that was it on verse 4. We gonna keep y'all marker because we coming back. That was verse 4.
Didn't he say in those days there will be no man teaching the next man his neighbor about the Lord? Like everybody gonna know.
Well, now I'm talking about, you're talking about when he give us a new heart, a new mind. That's at the end. You correct on that, my brother. That's at the end of the 7,000 years, but the end of the 6,000 years, there's gonna be a famine for the word of God. Folks gonna be longing to hear it. Ain't gonna be nobody telling them nothing.
Yeah.
You correct on what you're saying.
Yeah.
But at the end of the 6,000 years, it's gonna be a famine for the word of God.
Like the virgins that went out.
Yes.
And, yeah.
It ain't gonna be nobody there to give it to you.
Yeah.
That's why you need to be reading and studying and marinating and meditating and praying for the Ruach to be on you. Because it ain't gonna be there. This gonna be the time of the great tribulation at the end of the 6,000, man. You ain't gonna just go in no church. You ain't gonna go in no assembly. You ain't gonna go on YouTube and preach the unadulterated gospel. So you best be getting this in your spirit now and getting into your remembrance so the Ruach can bring all things to your remembrance. Because there ain't gonna be no crown in the end of the 6,000 years now. You just read it. Leviticus 23, flip back. Leviticus 23. Hebrew, if you don't mind for me, brother, read that 3 through 8, Hebrew.
Yes, sir. So we have Leviticus chapter 23, verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling.
Now we do that every week. But are we doing it the way he told us to do it? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Not only don't forget to keep the Sabbath day, but keep the Sabbath day holy in word, in thought, and in deed. I just gave y'all an example. They were last week. I really had to pull my coattail. She didn't come on there and bust me and I understand. She understands how to do things. She slipped me a note. While I was talking to the brood, she slipped me a note. I looked at the note, read it. She looked at me, I looked at her, and bam, that was it on that. You know what I'm saying? And look, didn't bring it back up till a couple of days later. Actually, I brought it back up. Yeah, she could have, nigga, you're going on YouTube. She didn't do that. So 6 days shall I labor and do all that work. But the 7th day, you should be talking about your pleasures. You shouldn't be talking about making money like my dumb butt was. You shouldn't be talking about nothing but the scriptures, resting and meditating and marinating on what this Sabbath day means and what it's pointing to. If you want to be there. That's why I don't get how people can do some of the things they do on the Shabbat day, being enemies, starting up trouble, terror, bearing, blah, blah, all that right there. I don't get it. When you got an understanding on what the Sabbath day means and what it's pointing to. You ain't practicing. Your practice, you might well not, because you ain't practicing right.
Nope.
So you ain't gonna make it to the intermission. You know, back like they used to do on Showtime with Apollo, you gonna get the hook. You ain't gonna make it to the intermission because you ain't even practicing right. You ain't trying to even do this thing right. You try to do it your way. This ain't Burger King. Keep reading, bro.
We had verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even
Mm-hmm.
holy convocations,
Holy convocation.
which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Mm-hmm.
In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Mm.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
How many days, brother?
7 days.
70 years. You got to try to live the best life you can. You got to try to live the most sin-free, holy life you can with the 70 years that he promised you. Every day in the week, the 6, 7 days, on the 7th day, man, it ought to be instead of it being how I want to say it ought to be a culmination of your week of living holy. Because if you going through your 70 years that he promised you, if you going through your 7 days a week that he promised you, and you ain't living holy, and you ain't eating unleavened bread, if you ain't consuming unleavened things instead of leavened things, if you ain't consuming, if you got unleavened thoughts, leavened thoughts and leavened actions and leavened speech, you ain't living unleavened. You ain't living unleavened for 7 days a week. You ain't living unleavened for these 70 years that he gave you. So how you gonna make it to Yeshua's kingdom? How you gonna make it to the day of rest when you've been living leaven on all these Shabbat days? On the Shabbat days is when you need to be walking on eggshells to make sure you don't have an evil thought, an evil action, an evil word come out your mouth. On these Shabbat days, you ought to be living on eggshells just about in your speech and in your thought, is what I'm saying. Because you ain't doing that for 7 days. On the 7th day, I know you ain't doing it on the other 6 days.
Nope.
If you can pollute the Sabbath day, I know you polluting the rest of the days. We coming up on Passover. We coming up on the unleavened bread. Everybody need to be cleaning their houses out. Everybody need to be cleaning their houses out. Those old friends that you used to hang around, those family members that you still hang around, those evil thoughts that you have, that evil speech that you have, you need to be trying to get rid of. The Shabbat day is coming, and the high Shabbat days are coming. And the intermission is coming. Passover is a deliverance. The day of rest is a time of deliverance for those who make it in the first resurrection. Everybody else gonna either get killed or processed through the wilderness. And it ain't gonna be fun. Finish it out, Hebrew.
We have verse 7.
Uh-huh.
In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
Uh-huh.
And the 7th day is an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
There it is right there again. He telling you that the 7th day is going to be the holiest day of that, I'm put like it. The 7th day, the day of rest is going to be the holiest 1,000 years on the planet until the Father gets here. And anybody that ain't with the program going to get the Bozak. We going to read that too. Let's go to the next place, Hebrew. Going back to Leviticus 25. Let me change slides. Going back to Leviticus 25. We're going to walk this Jubilees and this Leviticus 25 all the way down. Most High willing. We picking it up at the 5. We stopped at the 4, bro. We just giving all the spiritual aspects of this year of Jubilees and this Sabbath day. All right? Start at verse 5, read 5 through 7. When you get it, go ahead and read.
That which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest, thou shalt not reap.
Mm-hmm.
Neither gather the grapes of thy vine. Let me just start off. Neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land.
Uh-huh.
And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you, for thee and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant, and for thy stranger that sojourneth with thee.
Now, this is doing, he said, look, that which groweth of his own shall ye not reap. And it's going to be a Sabbath for the land, and it's going to be meat for everybody else but Israel. Why is that, T? Because Israel supposed to be stocking up the storehouse before this time hit. But the poor and the strangers and the sojourners and the nations, they got to still, they ain't been storing up because, see, you supposed to know better. You better not get caught out there on the year of rest doing something you ain't got no business. But you ain't been practicing it during the weekly Sabbath. You still cooking. You still going here. You still going there. Because you didn't prepare. See, the day of preparation. 6 days. 6 days is a day of preparation. You ain't even been practicing it right here. You ain't got no business gathering up nothing. But you ain't been practicing it. So when it comes to Yeshua King, what you gonna do then? This is the practice. This is the play. This is the rehearsal for the day of rest. Continue to read, Hebrew.
We have verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in the land, shall all the increase thereof be meat.
It ain't for you, Israel. You supposed to have been obedient. See, he gonna have, you need to be so in tune with the Shabbat that everything else is secondary. The animals can't keep the law of the Shabbat. The strangers don't know to keep the law of the Shabbat. You do. It shouldn't be nobody out there in that field gathering. Just like when we go to class, we see everybody run up and down the street doing. That's what they supposed to do. When we assemble together, we see all this hustle and bustle on the Shabbat day. Hey, it is what it is. But you supposed to know better. You going into the Shabbat and you angry, you upset with your husband, with your wife. You're arguing over this, you're arguing over that. You ain't took the time. You take the time to prepare everything else. When you're going out of town, you're making sure everything's just right. But when the Shabbat come, man, brothers be going on the Shabbat hungry, kids hungry, anybody cook nothing, anybody prepared nothing. It just, Shabbat ain't what it's supposed to be to you. But you see it right here, you ain't gonna be gathering nothing up. You supposed to already have it put up. This is how important this thing is, because you can't get the weekly Sabbath rest right. I don't know how you're going to make it over to that one. Isaiah the 37, Hebrew. Isaiah the 37. Maybe this will clear it up. Isaiah the 37. We're going to pick it up at the 14. We're going to pick it up at the 14. We're going to read verses 14 through 21. And then we're going to read 30 through 33.
All right.
When you get it, go ahead and feed the peoples.
All right, so we're Isaiah 37, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Hezekiah received a letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up unto the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Hezekiah prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, power of Israel, that dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God even thou alone.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the kingdoms of the earth, thou hast made heaven and earth.
Yes, sir.
Incline thine ear, O Lord, and hear. Open thine eyes, O Lord, and see, and hear all the words of Sennacherib, which has sent to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all the nations and their countries, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of man's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them.
Yep.
Now, therefore, O Lord our God, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, even thou only.
You know what? See, and that's the thing right there. Let me stop you right there. And see, that's why the Most High is so angry about idolatrous worship and us putting up idols in our mind. And here's the reason why he gets so upset. Everything that's here, he created, and there are laws to govern the things that he created, even you. So when you go against his word as far as the day of rest and the year of rest, when you go against his word and do idle things and idle worship and idle talk, you were created and he can't rest because you're not resting. He can't speak to you because your mind is so cluttered with everything else. With work, with saving money, with going here and going there. They idols in your mind, and they idols that's keeping you from hearing and moving and resting. That's why he gets so angry about idolatrous worship. It takes away from his laws. You know, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. That's what idolatrous worship, idle things in your mind and in your heart. That's what it does. That's why he gets so upset about it. It's a created thing that he has to continue to govern and work with, round, through, over, under, because it's not at rest. You're not at rest. You worry about how you're going to pay your bills on the Shabbat day. You worry about how you're going to get to work next week, what you're going to face next week. And on the Shabbat day, not just physical idols, mental and spiritual idols. Shabbat day is his. Everything is his. But that's the day he tells you to look toward the millennial kingdom. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Then Isaiah, the son of Amos, sent unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord of Israel, whereas thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria.
All right. I'll skip down. We're gonna get to the meat of the matter. Skip down to verse 30 and read 30 through 33.
All right, verse 30. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such as groweth of itself.
Now, we just read that in the Leviticus that you shouldn't. We just read that in Leviticus that you shouldn't. Continue to read.
In the second year, that which springeth of the same. And in the third year, sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward.
So stop right there. How does everything that's in the ground grows in two directions? A tree grows in two directions. A tree grows down and it grows up at the same time. That's a law. And until you remove these things and obey these laws, you will never grow. You won't be rooted and grounded in the word, and you won't be bearing no fruit. You will not be rooted and grounded, and you will not bear no fruit. After 3 years, somebody supposed to be able to, hey, we can go read in Leviticus. After 3 years, you going to start bearing fruit, and after 5 years, somebody ought to be able to eat off your tree. He said, then would Judah be rooted and started to grow downward and upward. Plants and trees and grass grow two ways at one time. If anybody know anything about God, if the root system ain't deep enough, that tree ain't gonna be a tree for long. That plant ain't gonna be a plant for long. If you ain't rooting the ground in this right here, man, what you doing? You gonna be that seed that fell by the wayside. You gonna be that seed that fell amongst the thorns. You gonna be that seed that fell on stony ground. You might spring up for a minute, but as soon as that heat get on you, as soon as the troubled lights get on you, you're gonna fade to black. You ain't rooting the ground in this word. Look how you treat the Sabbath day. Your ego takes over on the Sabbath day. Your carnal thoughts take over on the Sabbath day. Your want, your lust, and your desires take place on the Sabbath day. You ain't rooting the ground in this thing. Finish it out, Hebrew.
We have verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it.
So basically, this is Sennacherib. He telling Hezekiah what he gonna do to Sennacherib. But Sennacherib is representative of Satan and the world, or Babylon, or however you want to put it. And when you rooted and grounded in the word, the reason why I put this in it, when you rooted and grounded, when you growing down and growing up and bearing fruit, man, I don't care what's going on in your life, in your household, in your mind, it shouldn't, the Most High got you. He gonna protect you. But you have to put down the idols. You have to put down your wants, your lust, your desires, your ego, to see this and to understand this and to be protected against the fiery darts of the enemy and against the embankments of the enemy. Proverbs the 3, Hebrew.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs the 3. We're going to pick it up at the 5. We're going to read 5 through 6. We're going to skip down. Proverbs 3. And when you get it, go ahead and read, Hebrew.
All right, so we have Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Mm-hmm.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
You see that? That's what we got to be talking about over here in this Isaiah.
Yep.
You can't lean on what you want. Man, look, I'm going to tell you something. One of the hardest things ever was for me to start learning how to do was swallow my pride, which is nothing but an ego.
Yes.
That was one of the hardest things in my life I had to overcome. Is to swallow my pride and lower my ego. Until you acknowledge the Most High, until you acknowledge your own shortcomings to yourself, you will never be no good to the Most High. Until you can look yourself in the mirror and be real with yourself, you will never be no good to the Most High, and you sure ain't gonna be no good to yourself. You know you're a rebellious ass woman. You know you got some slick conniving way. You know it, but you try to put on fake the fun. You, brother, you know you side-eyeing and under-eyeing and watching rear end swing, but man, I made a covenant in my eye to get around the brother, you all pie. Stop. You know you've been pillow talking about your brother or sister. You know you've been tale bearing and whispering. And until you come to the realization and the truth of the matter, you will be no good to yourself or the Most High.
Nope.
See, I used to have to be the upfront, big muckety muck, know everything, show everything. Nah, man, I'm quiet as a church mouse. Most of you brothers tell you, man, unless I'm on the set, doing the lesson, man, they don't, man, look, what he at? Most High has humbled me. I feel like that. But learning to humble yourself, to get out of yourself, to be filled with the Ruach, it takes practice. And until you real with yourself, man, look, stop. You like I told you, it's like masturbation. You're playing with yourself.
Promise.
Skip down, bro. 9, read 9 through 10.
All right, so we have verse 9, Leviticus. Mm-hmm. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine.
And so shall thy presses burst out with new wine. The new wine is the constant flow of the Ruach. The new wine, the barn being filled with the knowledge and the power of the Most High. He ain't only talking about physical things in his word. How many times have you really just felt the presence of the Most High in your Bible study, in your read, even when you talking or even when you just by yourself? How many times have you really just felt the presence of the Most High? How many times have you sat down and read this script and then said, man, I've never seen that before, and the Most High give you a whole nother understanding of the scriptures?
Heavy.
How many times have you and your real sat down and really had a heart-to-heart about the scriptures, about what's going on in y'all relationship, and he give you a new understanding? He put y'all on the same accord.
Come on, all praises. That's all praises right there.
See,
yes, sir.
Hebrew, until we can do that, man, we playing with ourselves, man.
We playing. Hey, I promise. Boy.
Until you can do that, you playing with yourself. Y'all playing a game with each other. A little cat and mouse game that ain't nobody gonna win.
Nope.
Because he's seeing your heart and he's seeing your mind. Y'all can, yeah, we kiss and made up, but y'all ain't resolved. See, until you can put these scriptures on the table and clearly see yourself, your barns ain't gonna never be full. Your presses ain't gonna never burst out with new wine. The new wine is the new king. You didn't know that? What was the first miracle Yeshua did when he got here?
Yep.
Y'all ain't put that together in y'all head. Y'all can't see that. I ain't to sharpen a knife in the drawer now. I know I ain't. Barely made it out of high school. But y'all can't see that. The first miracle he did was what? And they said the wine that he made was better than the wine that they had before. You want to burst out with new wine? You better get in line. You want to make it to it? Then he said he wasn't going to take her to Passover again till he's drinking anew with you in what? The Father's kingdom? You want your precious breast out that new wine? I bet you don't. Well, you want to start doing some things to get there. You want to start doing some things to get there, to get to that Passover, to get to that day of rest, to get to the new wine. You want to start doing something different than what you've been doing. Let's go to the next slide, bro. We moving right along. We almost out of here.
Let's get it.
Let's go back to Leviticus 25. We're going to get some more spiritual aspects of this thing. Leviticus 25. We stopped off in the 7. We're going to read 8 through 12.
All right.
Leviticus 25, verse 8, Hebrew. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right, so we have Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 8, and it reads, and thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years.
Oh, did we read that in the synagogue prayer?
Yeah.
Okay, we read that in the synagogue, the Hellenistic synagogue prayer. But go ahead and read.
And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month.
Oh, the what month?
7th month.
Oh, the 10th day of the 7th month. That's the fall feast days, ain't it?
Yep.
That's getting to trumpets. That's getting to atonement.
Tabernacle.
That's getting to tabernacle. Then the 8th day. Oh, how long is tabernacles? You got the 7-day feast, then you got the 8th day. Then on the 8th day, you're gonna have a feast too, right? Y'all don't see the code. I mean, I hope I'm making sense to y'all. If you ain't, I got the picture up there with the trumpet when the mountain was on fire, and Yeshua came down, and the trumpet was blowing, and the mountain was on fire, and the people heard the word, and they said, "All that the Most High said, we're gonna do it all. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Go ahead, bro.
So we at the middle of verse 9.
Go ahead.
In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall hallow the 50th year,
Mm-hmm.
and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof.
50. Hold on, bro. 50. That's Pentecost, ain't it?
Well, yes, sir.
So all these feast days, like I told you, is leading up to this.
Mm-hmm.
Passover, the unleavened bread, the Pentecost, the trumpets, the tabernacle, is all leading up to Yeshua's kingdom, the day of rest. All this is going to be going on when he get back at one time simultaneously. And you said all that he said you were going to do and be obedient. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make you say it. You said it out of your own free will, your own mouth. But you ain't doing all that he said do. Keep reading, Hebrew.
All right, so we in the middle of verse 10.
Go ahead.
It shall be a jubilee unto you.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. A jubilee, that 50th year be unto you. I'm sorry, a jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed. For it is the jubilee. It shall be holy unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field.
You see that? Right back to it. Right back to not people. See, we got to understand when the Most High talking about fruit, and he called, we supposed to be part of the first fruit. When he talking about fruit, he talking about, hey, gathering he called Israel the vineyard of the Lord host in Isaiah the 5. In that second area, he said he didn't hewn out one vine and one grape cluster. He ain't gonna be gathering some of that rotten fruit out the vineyard or that thing that died of itself. He ain't gonna do it. So we have to understand when we read these scriptures, yeah, we read them for the ordinances and the statutes, but we better be reading for the spiritual and the prophetic.
First and foremost.
That's what you need to be paying attention to. Because let's get into this. I'll get into it later on. Let's go to the epistle of Barnabas. I know a lot of y'all don't have it, so I'm going to pull it up in the room for the people that don't have it. Let me get out of that. Here it is, the epistle of Barnabas. Now we're going to start in chapter 14, and we're going to read verse 9, the last verse in chapter 14, and then we're going to go right into 15. Then after we read 15, 1 through 9, we're going to read the first verse in chapter 16, Hebrew.
All right.
And can you see that on your screen? You got that?
Yeah, I can see it good.
Okay, I don't need to blow it up, huh?
Nah, I'm not for me. I mean, other folks might, but I'm good.
All right. Well, we're gonna let them just blow it up a little bit. There we go. All right. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right. Again, the prophet said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Wherefore he anointed me to preach good tidings to the humble. He hath sent me to heal them that are brokenhearted, to preach release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind." That sounds like that Isaiah.
That's exactly what it is. And that Luke.
Yeah. to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of recompense.
What?
Comfort all
Oh, stop. The what? What?
The day of recompense.
See, the proclaim the acceptable year or day of the Lord and the day of recompense to comfort all that more. See, it's gonna be a recompense. See, that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. It's gonna have to be some recompense, some atonement. It's gonna have to be done. You didn't choose his blood, he gonna require your blood. You hurt his people, he gonna hurt your people. You understand what I'm saying? This is the other half of the Isaiah 61 in the part that he didn't read in that Luke 4. He coming back, and it's gonna be a recompense in the acceptable year. It's gonna be a recompense for all that more. For the ones that hurt the little ones in the truth and the faith, it's got to be a recompense. For all the ones that didn't love their wife as Christ loved the church, it's got to be a recompense. For all the ones that didn't reverence their husbands and submit to their husbands, it's got to be a recompense. Because you said you were going to do it. Didn't it say we read that the Sabbath day is for the adherence and the profanation of his laws? We read that, didn't we, brother?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Then when you don't do it, then it's the year of recompense. You going to pay what you weigh. On that day, when he come back to set up his kingdom, ain't gonna be none of that fighting. Keep reading, Hebrew. Go on into 15.
Moreover, concerning the Sabbath, likewise, it is written in the 10 words.
In the 10 commandments, go ahead and read.
In which he spake to Moses face to face on Mount Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall hallow the Sabbath of the Lord with pure hands and with a pure heart.
You see that? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Can't have no blood on your hand and can't have no hate in your heart. On the Shabbat day, like y'all been doing. Go ahead.
And in another place he saith, if my sons observe the Sabbath, then I will bestow my mercy upon them.
There was another promise right there. Just for keeping the Sabbath pure and holy and not doing your thing and not talking about your words and not doing your pleasure. Like that's another thing. Y'all brothers talking about y'all can go with y'all wife on the Shabbat day. When it's your time to need some mercy, you ain't going to get none. You will not get any mercy when it's your time when you need it. Because you didn't keep the Shabbat day. Pure and holy. Go ahead, Hebrew.
And in another place he saith, if my sons observe the Sabbath, then I will bestow my mercy upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Of the Sabbath he speaketh in the beginning of the creation. And God made the works of his hands in 6 days, and he ended on the 7th day, and he rested on it, and he hallowed it.
Now you see how this brother started out in that 14 and 9. He talking about the proclaimed acceptable year of the Lord and the day of recompense. All this going to happen to the people who did not do what we reading in 15. Keep reading, Hebrew.
Verse 4. Give heed, children, what this meaneth. He ended in 6 days. He meaneth this, that in 6,000 years the Lord shall bring all things to an end.
Now, we saw that in that slide I was showing y'all. I hope y'all took a picture of it so y'all can go back and study it on your own. But go ahead and read.
For the day with him signified 1,000 years, and this he himself beareth me witness, saying, behold, the day of the Lord shall be as 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, children, in 6 days, that is, in 6,000 years, everything shall come to an end.
You see it?
Yeah, they're making it real plain.
That's the intermission.
Yeah, they're making it real plain.
He's making it plain. That's what I like about this epistle of Barnabas. He break it down to the compound, son.
Yeah.
6,000 years, it's done.
It's over.
Now, I ain't saying this is what it is, but you saw we had 5,000. What they say we had 5,784. Ain't gonna be much longer if that's correct. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to get into that. That's a whole nother deal. I got to do some more study.
That's 16 more years.
What?
Shoot,
Brother, they say they got the red heifer. They say they got the. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I talked to two brews. I talked to my Bane and I talked to my nephew, Tuvi, right? We were talking about this, right?
Yeah.
And matter of fact, a couple of months ago, Mike called me and he was asking me, I said, look, man, you ain't got to worry about nothing till you see that first crane go up on the Temple Mount.
Yeah.
But you know what? TJ hit me with, and Tuvi hit me with the same thing when me and they were talking about it.
What they hit you with, bro?
They said, man, I believe that temple already built. I think they're gonna come up on hydraulics. Both of them said the same thing. Now I ain't talking to either one about what the other one said until Tuvi brought it up.
Yeah.
I've been telling people, look, man, y'all ain't gonna have to worry about nothing till that first crane go up there to start tipping them walls up. I said, we ain't gotta worry about nothing till the end. But they put something on my brain. They said, Pop, I believe TJ said Pop and Tuvi said Elder, I believe it's already built. I believe they got it built under the Temple Mount, and they just gonna raise it up with hydraulics. I said, man, I ain't never thought about that.
Ain't no telling. I do know this though, bro. They about to sacrifice that red heifer this coming Passover.
Brother, they just shot 5 or 6 of them from Texas over there.
You know what I'm saying? And don't in Daniel say they're gonna sacrifice for so many thousand, so many days.
They got to, because guess what? See, they got to take that red heifer, right? They got to sacrifice the red heifer, take the ashes, mix it in water, and wash the Kohanim or the Levites or the priests with that water before they can start the daily sacrifice. They got to see the priest got to be cleansed first before they can start the sacrifices, bro. Then we know that the abomination of desolation gonna come and do what? He gonna put a hold to the sacrifice.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't in Daniel, man, they said that they supposed to sacrifice for like 1,000 so many days, right?
Well, yeah, they gonna be sacrificing, but here's the thing. The tribulation is 3.5 years. You add it up. Ain't that 900 some days?
I think it's 1,200 days. What I was
it's
saying,
365 days in the year, man.
What I was saying was that once they start, I'm saying I don't know. I'm just
See, once they start sacrificing, the abomination of desolation is gonna put a hold to the sacrifice.
That's what I'm saying, right? So when they start sacrificing this red heifer on a regular, but I'm like, that's the countdown to this man showing up.
But see, that's what I'm saying, brother. We ain't watching, and the scriptures is telling, man, you ain't got but 6,000 years, man.
Man.
And see, early on in my walk, I used to tell my son, I said, man, I ain't gonna be around this here happen. Y'all gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
It don't look like I'm gonna make it out unless the most I take my breath here pretty soon. Look like I'm gonna be here. I'm about to deal with it. We're gonna be staring face to face with the abomination of desolation.
Whoa. You better get your spirit right now.
See, y'all playing on the Shabbat day.
You better get your
if you can't get the Shabbat day right, when it really get hard and thick, how you gonna make it, man? How you gonna make it? Negroes getting their feelings about the least little thing and how I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Man, I just don't want to like the nigga saying it, man. The nigga this, the nigga that. Man, this stuff, this gonna be light work when you stare in the beast face to face in all his armies, and you gotta make it for 3. Now, let's see who's gonna be unsubmissive and unloving and can't get brother or sister love during the tribulation. Well, y'all really gonna need each other. But y'all ain't been practicing all this time. The little stuff been tripping y'all up. Y'all can't even come do the feast days right. But when you stand eyeball to eyeball with the beast from the east, then what you gonna do? You gonna be mad at your brother then because he tried to correct you? And sisters, I bet y'all gonna be running behind y'all husband then. Baby, what we gonna do? Where we gonna go? What we gonna eat? I bet you gonna be running then. If he said he finna leave there, I bet your ass be right behind him then, won't you? But you ain't been practicing, so it's gonna be hard. And he might leave your buddy. He might walk out the door one day, don't tell you he gone. Keep on reading, brother.
All right, so we have verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
He rested on the seventh day. This he meaneth. When his son shall come and shall abolish the time of the lawless one,
Yes, sir.
and shall judge the ungodly.
And do what?
And shall judge the ungodly.
Man, the acceptable year and the day of recompense. See, when the 7th day come, man, y'all need to be practicing on putting y'all hand over y'all mouth. Y'all need to be practicing on love. Y'all need to be practicing on meekness. Y'all need to be practicing on perseverance and endurance. That's what you need. So when the hit come and then the judgment come, man, you'll be stayed in the way. But y'all can't get the little stuff right, let alone the big. You think you're gonna be able to flip a switch and turn it on then? It's just like practicing anything. If you ain't been practicing, how you gonna do it when it's time to do it? I'm gonna do it like this here, but man, soon that time, I'm gonna be able to flip. No, you're not. No, you're not. Me and this brother were talking before the lesson. Everybody want to blame stuff on the devil. The devil get blamed for a whole lot of stuff he ain't doing. I was born in sin and shaken in iniquity. The wicked go as soon as they be born from the womb.
Hey, so a lot of that stuff you doing on your own.
You doing it on your. The devil busy, man. The devil busy, man. Man, I said weak. The devil tempted me. Nigga, you wicked. Keep reading, bro. Read that again. Read that 5 again.
All right. And he rested on the 7th day. This he meaneth. When his son shall come and shall abolish the time of the lawless one, shall judge the ungodly, and shall change the sun and the moon and the stars, then shall he truly rest. Then shall he truly rest.
Yes, sir.
On the 7th day.
I told you, all the laws are still in effect, so how can he rest? Because the book say when the Father and Son, they gonna be the light thereof, and they gonna be the temple thereof. He's still working. The grass still growing. The fruit still growing. The trees still going. The wind still blowing. He ain't resting. The laws are still in effect. Then he gonna rest. Then he gonna rest. He created it all. We read everything we created. You go to Colossians, you read the same thing you read in that synagogue of prayer. Everything was created by him and through him and for him. And he's still making it move. Go ahead and read it out, bro. Keep reading.
All right, so we're at verse 6. Yea, and furthermore he saith, thou shalt hallow it with pure hands and with a pure heart.
Telling you again, go ahead and read.
If therefore a man is able now to hallow the day which God hallowed, though he be pure in heart, we have gone utterly astray. You see that? Go ahead. But if till then shall we truly hold on, let me start over. But if after all, then and not till then shall we truly rest and hallow it. When we shall ourselves be able to do so after being justified and receiving the promise. When iniquity is no more and all things have been made new by the Lord. You see that? Go ahead, bro. We shall be able to hallow it then, because we ourselves shall have been hallowed first. Do you see that, man? If you ain't been doing this thing right now, and you know doggone well in yourself, and you have, well, man, I've been trying, bump all that. Ain't none of us perfect, man. Think everybody perfect. Look, man, you know you doing stuff, when you doing stuff willingly, when you ain't doing it ignorantly, when you doing purposeful, willful sinning, you know when you doing it, man. Stop playing. And this is, hey, we commanded to be perfect anyway, so thank you. So stop saying we ain't perfect. You really condemning yourself when you say that. Man, look, see, we got more excuses, boy. We come on more excuses than anything, man.
doing what we supposed to be doing, why we act the way we act, why we say the things we say, instead of just shutting up and getting in line.
Yep. Hey, but look, don't society say practice makes perfect?
See, come on, bro.
So
Come on, bro.
you practice these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're gonna be perfect in his eyes.
But if you ain't been handling the weekly Sabbath, how you gonna be? You ain't gonna be able to get in the main Sabbath, the year of rest.
You gotta practice the weekly Sabbath.
Thank you. And you gotta practice it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he say Abraham walked before me and was perfect?
Mm-hmm.
He kept all my laws. This before Israel was made. He said Abraham kept all my laws, all my statutes, and all my judgments. And it wasn't written down at the time.
That's what I'm about to say. This was before Sinai.
That's what I'm saying. So stop with the tomfoolery. Get out yourself. Get out your feelings. Get out your emotions. Get out your ego. Some of y'all on the Shabbat day need to be washing some feet. Some of y'all on the Shabbat day need to be picking up that phone and telling somebody you love them. Some of y'all need to learn, do something that's going to humble you. You need to practice being humble, man. Y'all need to be going out y'all way and trying to humble yourself to get out yourself so you can get out your own way. Because one of Israel's biggest problems, they cannot get out their own way. Keep reading, Hebrew.
We have verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, he said to them, your new moons and your Sabbath I cannot away with.
You hear it? Go ahead.
You see what he is meaning? It is not your present Sabbaths that are acceptable unto me, but the Sabbath which I have made, in the which, when I have set all things at rest,
yes, sir.
I will make the beginning of the 8th day, which is the beginning of another world.
You see that?
Yeah, that's heavy, right?
Hold on, bro. I got to go back and show it. I got to go back and show it before we move. Y'all see that right there?
So the 8th day.
Y'all see this line right here? The 7,000 years going, and then you got to go to the Father's kingdom where he going to make everything clean. Then we just read that. You read the same thing in Leviticus 12.
Mm-hmm.
You read about the Jubilees, the 50 years. Now look, 12 Jubilees, 120 Jubilees times 50 is what? That's 6,000 years.
Yep.
12, did he say he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel? 12. So from day 1 to day 6, the end of day 6, it's going to be 120 Jubilees, 6,000 years.
I wonder what Jubilee we in.
Hey, take that 574. You hear me? That 5784 and divided by 50, they're gonna give you your answer. I ain't saying that's what it is, but if you want to get close or whatever, you know what I'm saying. There you go.
That's rough.
You see what I'm saying?
574 divided by what?
50.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
5784. 5784 divided by 50.
Divided by 50. Wow.
What did it say?
115. Wow. That's what I'm saying, man. Hey, this ain't the time to be lollygagging.
Yeah.
It's time to be lollygagging. You know?
Woo, boy.
Nah, if that's accurate, and we got 150 Jubilees, yo.
Now if you want to get some more studying in on that, I did a little bit, I ain't do a lot. You can go back to Jasher and you can go back to the book of Jubilees, and it tells you like Noah lived this many Jubilees.
Yeah.
And then go back and then add the years from Adam to Noah, and then you can add those jubilees up.
Man, I'm scared to do that, man. Hey, because really, if you got the book of Jasher, it, like you said, it do that. It tell you.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm scared to do that, boy.
So, look, I started to, but the spirit, the Ruach led me away from that for right now. I don't know why, but hey, if you want to, I mean, it just be a fun thing to do. You know what I'm saying? We know no man knows the day of the hour, but guess what?
Right.
Man, the signs is in the heavens. You know what I'm saying? We paid attention to prophecy and the scripture.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
He didn't say we wouldn't know the season.
That's right. He did. He said he gave it to us for signs, season, days, months, and years.
Oh.
And you can also go compare that. I think it's that first Enoch. I think that 78. And TJ, if you watch, I think it's 76, 78 through that 90 too. It's got some stuff in there on that too. So you can take those 3 books right there, and man, do you have your little fun study right there? Yeah. What we at, Hebrew?
This is verse 9.
All right, go ahead.
Wherefore also we keep the 8th day for rejoicing.
Yes, sir.
Which also Yeshua rose from the dead, and having been manifested, ascended into the heavens.
Now man, you know what's so cold about that right there? He said keep the 8th, because that's what day Yeshua rose up on the 8th day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he gonna hand the kingdom over to the Father on the 8th day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But check this out. Me and this brother were talking about this right here before the lesson too. The eclipse came on the new moon of the first part of the year, which Yeshua is the Passover, leading into Passover. The first new moon of the new year, that's when the eclipse happened on the 8th day of the month.
Yep. 14 days.
I was talking to my son about that. I said, man, you see that? He said, man, even with Gregorian calendar, the Most High, man, the prophecies is just lining up.
He cold.
He cold with it, man.
14 days before the Passover was the eclipse.
Yes.
That's heavy.
Yes. If y'all don't see it, y'all want to see it. Read that 16:1, bro. Then we're going to move on.
Moreover, I will tell you likewise concerning the temple.
Concerning the what?
Concerning the temple.
What temple? Go ahead.
How these wretched men been led astray, set their hope on the building.
On the what?
On the building.
They set their hope on the building. Man, but he said he dwelled in temples not made with hands. See, y'all got y'all mind set on these ordinances and all these statues. Yeah, we supposed to do them, but they supposed to be a schoolmaster leading to the spiritual and prophetic. These wicked men set their mind on the building. The Pharisees had their mind on the temple. But Yeshua, he was talking about, he said, man, y'all destroy this temple in 3 days. I'm going to raise it up again. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying, bro? But if you wicked, you got your mind on the natural. Go ahead and finish that out.
And not on their God that made them, as being a house of God.
You see that? You're supposed to be a house of God, a temple of God. Did he say he's going to have 12 pillars? Did he say you're going to be a pillar in the house of God? See, man, y'all be worried about the carnal too much. Y'all be worried about the ordinance and the statute. Man, when y'all read these scriptures, y'all better start looking at the spiritual and prophetical things of God. Because, see, it's a whole lot of outer cup Hebrews out here.
A whole heck of a lot.
Why you think 2/3 of Israel is going in the lake of fire? Because you got too many outer cup Hebrews. Everybody want to do all the outer cup stuff, the outer showing stuff, and ain't clean the inside of the cup, man. Come on, bro. Y'all need to understand what y'all be reading when y'all reading these scriptures. I don't like to read that law, that Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, man, don't make no sense to me. Because you ain't looking at it right.
I promise.
You ain't looking at it right. That's why it don't make no sense to you.
It's clear as day.
It's clear as day. If you sensitive to the spirit, if you want the ruach, if you want the information and knowledge, Most High gonna give it to you. If you sincere and you try to do this thing right the right way.
That's actually what you just said is actually law. It's his law to reveal to his servants that they are in when they are in sin.
Come on,
That's his
brother.
law. He got to do that. So
Come on now.
it's either you see it when he reveal it to you,
Mhm.
or you ignore it and you kick against it.
And that's why you never get anything else than what you get. Because, bro, he ain't finna give you nothing, and you ain't even dealing with what he already gave you, or what you already know. You can't see, man. Let me say this. And brothers and sisters, I'm telling y'all, I promise y'all, I'm not being brave. I know where my gifts come from. There is no way in the world that your brother could come over with these lessons, look in this scripture, and bring the things out that the Most High and brought out in these scriptures in these lessons. If I want, man, you got to be able to be sensitive to the spirit. And he ain't finna be messing with you when you riding to the court.
Nope.
He ain't gonna escalate and elevate you in nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, because you got a few shekels in your pocket, a few shekels in the bank, 401k. If you think that's all good, that's all you need, and you think I'm blessed and highly favored, if you think that's what it is, go on about your business.
Hey, ain't it that second editors that say the Holy Spirit will not rest on a deceitful heart?
Will not. And that's why I see so many brews tripping over the same thing over and over, because you ain't real, man.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't real. If you were real, you wouldn't be tripping constantly over the same thing. You are outer cup Hebrew light. That's all you are.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about all you got to do is look around, go to a few assemblies, look on social media, in a field with outer cup Hebrew lights. That's all you got to do. I'm looking around, brother, and I promise you, I'm like,
yeah.
That's why he said it ain't gonna be but a remnant. Just a remnant. Ain't gonna be a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna seem like it's a whole lot to us, but it ain't gonna be a whole lot compared to the people that's gonna be in the lake. He said it's gonna be a number that no man can number, but if that number is gonna be no man can number, I know what's gonna be over there.
Oh.
Come on now. Let's just go, bro. Let's go to the next spot. Let me get back to my PowerPoint. I think we got that Barnabas now. That should have been the last. You read that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go back to Leviticus 23.
Hey, the lake of fire gonna be busting at the seams.
Man, he said hell is ever expanding to receive those who would fall in it.
It's gonna be bursting.
He says it's always ever expanding, man. Before we go back to that, let me see what y'all talking about up in here. I ain't even see that. Oh, y'all, okay, all praise. I see y'all up in there. All praise. Let me get back to the script. Get back to this PowerPoint, bro. Where we at? Right here in this one. All right, let's go back to Leviticus 23, y'all. Let's go to Leviticus 23. This time we're gonna read 9 through 16. Let me see what time it is. I've got 2 be coming on at 10:30. All right, let's speed up just a little bit, bro. I'm about to stop running my mouth. Leviticus 23, 9 through 16.
All right, so we have Leviticus 23, verse 9, and it reads, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say, just real quick, bro. Every time he always say, speak unto the children of Israel. And just my thing, like, when we get to the New Testament, we say, everybody's in it now.
Yeah.
I would think he would be like, speak to the children of Israel and say also until.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man.
But see, when you listen to the heathen get a hold of your book and you fall off out of your spot, then the heathen can tell you whatever they want to tell you.
They can tell you anything.
When you let them get a hold of your scripture because you off your spot, off your square. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't mean to go off. I just
No, go ahead, bro. It's all good.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and ye shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. Ye shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
And this was Yeshua. This is pointing when Yeshua got at the grave and Mary went to grab and touch him. He said, "Oh, don't touch me because I ain't been presented yet to the Father." Then when he came back, he let him handle him and touch him. But this is pointing to that. But once again, back to the feast days, back to the resurrection, back to the Sabbath day. Go ahead and read.
Right. Real quick though, Hebrew, even though we don't technically keep the first fruits, like in a spiritual sense, right? Shouldn't you be like, I guess, presenting yourself to be waived as an offering?
Every week you should be. That's what I'm saying. Denying yourself, denying your talk, denying your mind.
Yeah.
When you coming before the Most High on the Shabbat day.
Yeah.
Yes. He said, let us offer the calves of our lips.
There you go.
Huh?
Yeah.
See, that's why people got to start reading these scriptures and memorizing these scriptures and precepting these scriptures. So when something come up, it ought to pop up. A scripture ought to pop up in your brain. 2 or 3 of them. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 12. You shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf and I'm starting over. Verse 12. And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord.
That's pointing to Yeshua again. Go ahead and read.
And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil. An offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. Ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears until the self same day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
So this meat offering, this flour offering, you want to make sure that everything that you use sifted. It said fine flour. Everything in your mind, everything coming out your mouth need to be sifted. And it needs to be mingled with oil. What does the oil represent? Oil represents the word of the Most High, or the anointing of the Most High. You shouldn't be coming on the Shabbat day with your talk and your mind in an unanointed.
It's heavy.
Huh? Is it making sense to you?
Complete.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even until the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days.
Yes, sir.
Ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deal. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. See, look, when you eat unleavened bread for 7 days, when you got fine flour mingled with oil, when it comes to Pentecost or the Jubilee, the time of Yeshua turn, man, it ought to be something new about you. Yes.
There ought to be something different about you. I shouldn't be offering the same offering I offered the first time when the 50 come on, when the Jubilee come on, when the day of rest come on. Huh? Is it making sense?
And look,
a new meat offering.
It said they shall be baking with leaven.
Huh?
Right? So now you should have righteous leaven rising up in you.
See, come on, brother. This ain't hard to figure out.
Yeah, that the spirit should be in you. So you got the zeal of the Most High should be upon you, you know.
Man, the 2/10 deal, brother. The 2 loaves, just like the showbread that was baking before the priest in there.
Yep.
The showbread is representative of Israel. The showbread was always put freshly before the priest. You need to be fresh before you go up in front of your priest, your high priest, man.
fresh baked bread, baby.
Every Shabbat day.
Straight
And it was
up.
fresh baked bread every Shabbat. No, them 2 10 2 low, you understand? New meat offering. Every Shabbat day, you need to be coming up with something new, coming up being better, coming up with something else to humble yourself and get yourself together where you can present yourself as a new meat offering every Shabbat. Because if you don't, you ain't gonna be in the last Shabbat. That was it. Excuse me, that was it on that one, bro.
Verse 18.
I think we going down to
16.
Yeah, we're gonna stop at 16.
Yeah, I kept on reading.
All right, let's go to Isaiah the 60. Isaiah the 60. Let's go and read what we think that's right. Let me see. No, that's something else. All right, let's go to Isaiah the 60, man. Real quick. We're gonna pick it up at 1. We're gonna read 1 through 5, then we're gonna read 10 through 14, Hebrew. When you get it, go ahead and feed the people. Don't wait on me.
All right, so we had Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Arise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For, behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. The Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to brightness of thy rising.
Mm-hmm.
Lift up thine eyes round about, and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Yes, sir.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
You see that? You see this picture right here where they gathered. It's going to be a regathering of Israel. There's going to be a regathering of Israel. Keep reading, Hebrew.
Skip down to verse.
Skip down. I'm sorry. Skip down to verse 10. Read 10 through 14.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
They who?
Wow. Their kings shall minister unto thee.
What?
Just like how we minister before our Lord, they gonna minister. Man, that's heavy right there.
Man, look, can you imagine one of the Rothschilds on with an apron?
Come on, man.
Washing windows and washing walls and drawers? Go ahead, brother.
For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee.
All praise.
Wherefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, all you big money grip Sachs Goldman and Rothschild and Rockefellers, man, y'all, man, King Charles and your Buck-tooth son and all that, man. Look, y'all got to pay what y'all weigh, man. And if you don't, you're going to have some serious problems, partner. The whore queen, she gone now. But, hey, we already know what's going to happen to her. But all her little lineage and all her little fledglings and all y'all Illuminati and Masons and Knights Templars, all y'all kings, all y'all boy with all the money, the movers and shakers, y'all gonna have to come on with it, partner. I like a little twisted line, you know what I'm saying, in my water. Go ahead and read, bro.
I like my popcorn popped on the stove.
Yeah. I do too, man. I'm glad you said. Go ahead, bro.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Yes, sir.
Those nations shall be utterly wasted.
That was it on that one.
Yeah, that was it.
Did you read that 14?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Hold
Yeah, you did read the 14. That's my bad, bro. All right, let's go back to the pseudepigraphy real quick. We're going to the book of Aristobulus. It's in Pseudepigrapha volume the 2. Also, it's gonna be on page.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm sorry, bro. I stopped at verse 12.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Read down to 14.
Because I got 12 highlighted. That's where I stopped. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. Read down to 14.
Yeah. The glory. I'm at verse 13. We have verse 13. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary.
Yes, sir.
I will make the place of my feet glorious.
Now this Yeshua.
Yeah.
So this means he gonna be on this earth. And he said, I'm gonna make the place of my feet glorious. Continue to read.
The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
You see that? Go ahead.
And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the shoes of thy feet.
Oof.
And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel.
You see that right there? This is going to be when he come establish his kingdom on this earth. Don't y'all want to be there and see some of this here?
Yeah.
Well, you have to get out of self then if you want to be there and see this here.
And look, he ain't talking about he gonna make the folks kiss your feet now, bend down to your feet now.
No,
because we slaves right now. Who bending and bowing down to slaves right now?
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
So all you folks out there on these corners with these folks bending and kissing your feet, having them kiss his feet. We just read right here that you transgressing. You out of order right here.
You out of order, partner. Talk to him, bro.
You out of order. Bro, I be seeing that, and it be making me cringe. I just seen a video where dude made the dude kiss his daughter feet, little baby feet, little short legged feet.
Oh, I can believe.
I'm like, man.
They out of control, bro. Man, they out of control.
You a slave right now.
They way out of order, man.
Straight up. You a slave right now, man.
You trying to preempt, you trying to act like you in Yeshua kingdom in Babylon.
Come on, man. They're not cleaving to you right now.
Come on, bro.
Straight up. It's
told
time
you
for us to get ourselves together right now. We got to get our we ain't even keeping our statutes and judgments like we supposed to.
Thank you, brother.
Come on, man.
They can't, look what I'm saying. They can't get the weekly Shabbat right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we're going to the fragments of Aristobulus. It's in Pseudepigrapha volume 2. It's on page 841. We're going down to fragment 5. And we're going to read that 9. We're going to read that 9 through 16, Hebrew. When you get it, go ahead. If you got it, feed the people.
Yeah, I got it. All right, it says, on the Sabbath, following these things, after other remarks, he adds, and connected with this in the fact that God, who established the whole cosmos, also gave us the seventh day as a rest, because life is laborious for all.
Mm-hmm.
According to the law of nature, the seventh day might be called first also, as the genesis of light in which all things are contemplated. And the same thing might be said metaphorically about wisdom also.
Now we read that before, but go ahead and read.
For all light has its origin in it.
All light has its origin in wisdom, which we know wisdom is Christ, but go ahead and read.
And some of those belonging to the Priapathic school has said that wisdom holds the place of a lantern. For as long as they follow it unremittingly, they will become through their whole life.
Yes, sir.
And one of our ancestors, Solomon, said more clearly and better that wisdom existed before heaven and earth.
Yes, sir.
Which indeed agrees with what has been said. And is plainly said by our legislation that God our legislation.
Hey, that's the legal law, but go ahead and read.
Yeah, that God rested on the seventh day. This does not mean, as some interpret, that God no longer does anything.
Stop. See, that's what I was saying. He ain't resting. He really ain't resting yet. Yeshua said, I'm going to say it again. He said, I work here too, does my Father work. He ain't really rested yet, but go ahead and read.
After that, he had finished ordering all things. He also ordered them for all time.
Mm-hmm.
For the legislation signifies that in 6 days he made heaven and earth and all things which are in them, in order that he might make manifest the times and foreordain what proceeds, what with respect to order. For having set all things in order, he maintains and alters them, so in accordance with that order.
See, that's what I'm saying. You was talking about the one tree got leaves and blooms on, the other tree don't.
Yeah.
I look around my neighborhood. Some of my neighbor grass is green, mine's still brown.
Yeah.
How's he doing that? How do the ants know where to go? How do the birds know where to go? How do the water know how to flow? Who's opening up these gates to the sun, the moon, and the wind? How is he resting in all this stuff that's going on every day, all day, every second of the day? Who's holding the cosmos, the universe, in order? It's going to be a change, though, when he get here. Go ahead.
And the legislation has shown plainly that the seventh day is legally binding for us as a sign of the sevenfold principle around us, by which we have knowledge of human and divine matters.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, all the cosmos of the living beings and growing things revolves in series of sevens.
Mm-hmm.
It's being called Sabbath is translated as rest.
Mm-hmm.
And both Homer and Hesiod, having taken information from our books. So when I first read this, is they talking about the Greek Homer that wrote the Iliad?
Yeah, and they took all this information from our books.
Okay.
And you see that Maccabees said they sought to paint their images in our books.
Yep.
But they got everything from us.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
Say clearly that the seventh day is holy. That's what Homer then was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Hesiod speaks so. To begin with, the first, the fourth, and the seventh, each a holy day. And again he says, and on the seventh day is again the bright light of the sun.
Yes, sir.
And Homer speaks so. And then indeed the seventh day returned a holy day.
A holy day.
And then was the holy seventh day, and again. It was the seventh day, and on it all things had been completed. And on the seventh morning, we left the stream of
Acheron. That's all I wanted on that.
Okay.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to show that right there. The heathen know what day the seventh day is. Ain't no arguing. Only the ignorant people don't know when it's. I'm saying. I'm not saying it demeaning. I'm saying ignorance is dangerous.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Only ignorant people don't know when the Shabbat is, man.
Yeah.
And only ignorant people or self-denied people in self-denial ain't keeping the Shabbat that ain't keeping the weekly Shabbat that's pointing to the Shabbat, the day of rest. Mm-hmm. Rebellion. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let me get out of this. Bro.
And just because you ignorant don't mean that you excused from transgressing the law.
No, sir. It does not.
We're going to look at that tomorrow.
All praise. Tuned in. We're going to Ezekiel the 20. Man, I got to hurry up. Ezekiel the 20. Ezekiel 20. We ought to make it. We're going to make it. Ezekiel 20. He come on at 10:30. I don't want to get in my nephew's way. Ezekiel 20, 11 through 12. Then we're going to read 16 through 20, Hebrew. That's another little precept real quick. Go ahead.
So Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 11. It reads, and I gave them my statutes and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. Mm-hmm. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16.
Read that 16.
Because they despise my judgments and walk not in my statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, mine eyes spared them from destroying them.
Mm.
Neither did I make an end of them in the wilderness. But I said unto their children in the wilderness, walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols.
Mm.
I am the Lord your God. Walk in my statutes and keep my judgments and do them. And hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
And the Sabbath is a sign between Yah and his true and the true remnant. Just because you know you're a Hebrew Israelite and you got the fringes on, the staff, and the head wrap on, that don't mean nothing.
It don't.
Only the true remnant, the one who the spiritual Israelite, the spiritually minded Israelite, the obedient Israelite, that's going to be the one that the Sabbath is going to be a sign between he and the Father. Let's go back to the super paper. We're going to the Book of Jubilees, volume 2, page 67. Another real quick precept. Let me get there.
67 or 57?
What I got on your paper, bro? It's chapter 3. No, chapter 6. I'm sorry. Let me get on there. I made a fat finger that one.
You got 67.
I got on page 67, verses 15 through 22.
Yeah, on page 67. Okay.
No, that's right. What's on 57?
The significance of the Sabbath.
Maybe I fat fingered that one. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Oh, no, this is what I want right here. I ain't want to go to the end. We in chapter 6, ain't?
Yep.
What page you on?
67.
Chapter 6.
Yep, chapter 6. Yep, verse 15.
Yeah, that's on 67, ain't it?
67. Yep.
Yeah, this is what I want.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I want. Go ahead.
All right, you said what we doing? 15 through.
Yeah, we're going 15 through 22.
All right.
Go ahead.
And he gave a sign to Noah and his children that there should not again be a flood upon the earth. He set his bow in the clouds for a sign of the covenant which is forever.
Mm-hmm.
That the water of the flood shall therefore not be upon the earth to destroy it all the days of the earth.
Go ahead.
Therefore, it is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets that they should observe the feast of Shabbat in this month, once per year, in order to renew the covenant in all respects, year by year.
Mm-hmm.
And all this feast was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation until the days of Noah.
To the day of creation, to the day of who?
Noah.
So from the day of creation to the days of Noah, I don't want to go back to that slide, but y'all go prove me out on this. This is what I was telling you about them jubilees. Go ahead and read.
26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years.
Uh-huh.
And Noah and his children kept it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years until the day of the death of Noah.
You see, they were keeping feast days and Shabbat days before Israel was a nation, man.
Yeah.
Israel think they got a monopoly on everything. The forefathers been doing it.
Yep.
The elders been doing it. We all want to think our Israel, man. Well, before Israel was a nation, holy men of Yah of old was already doing it. Then you can go read in that Genesis. Abraham kept all my laws, statutes, my commandments, and my judgment. Israel wasn't no nation then. We read here that our forefather Noah was keeping Shabbat, was keeping Shavuot. He was doing it. And they was marking the Jubilee from the time of the creation up until when he was doing it. Go ahead, brother.
And from the day of the death of Noah, his sons corrupted it unto the days of Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
when they ate blood. But Abraham alone kept it.
Yes,
And
sir.
Isaac and Jacob and his sons kept it unto your days. But in your days, the children of Israel forgot it until you renewed it for them on this mountain.
So they was already, they was doing it and they forgot how to do it until they renewed it. Most High renewed it on the mountain that was on fire.
And then Christ kind of renewed it when he came.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
You see what I'm saying?
All this stuff is pointing to the day of Christ, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Now go ahead and keep reading.
And you command the children of Israel so that they might keep this feast in all their generations as a commandment to them. 1 day per year in this month they shall celebrate the feast.
Yes, sir.
For it is the feast of Shabbat,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the feast of the first fruits.
The feast of what?
First fruits.
Now we were reading all about that in Leviticus.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The feast is twofold and two natures.
Yes, sir.
Just as it is written and engraved concerning it. Observe it. That's in at verse 22.
Now go on, read all the way down to the last part of 22.
Okay. This is because I have written it in the book of the first law, which I wrote for you, so that you might observe it in each of its appointed times, 1 day per year. And I have told you its sacrificial offering, so that the children of Israel might remember them and observe them in their generations in the month 1 day each year.
You see that right there? And it goes on into the other appointed time that Noah was keeping. But he said, man, I wrote this in the first book of the law.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the book of the first law. Then I gave you its sacrificial law. But all this stuff will point to something greater than what he was showing you in these ordinances. We finna prove that out. Let's go to Numbers 28. Let's go to Numbers 28. We're going to read a couple of verses of script right there. Numbers 28, we're going to read 26 through 31. When you get in Hebrew, go ahead and feed the people.
All right, so we had Numbers chapter 28, verse 26.
What did he say?
Also in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks be out, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, but ye shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord. 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deal unto 1 bullock, 2/10 deal unto 1 ram. A several 10th deal unto 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs. 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. You shall offer them beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offering.
They were all the feast days right there. Didn't mention one of them by name. It gave you the orders of each one of those feast days. First fruit, the atonement, the unleavened bread mingled with oil with the spirit of the Most High. All right there, what same thing we just read in that Jubilee. Same thing we just been reading in the Aristotles. Same thing we were reading in the epistles, Leviticus, the same thing. Passover, talking about sacrificing the lamb, all that. Last slide, bro. Going back to Leviticus 25, we're going to read another precept of that right there. Leviticus 25. Leviticus 25, we're going to read 10 through 13. Can read the same? Go ahead and read, brother.
All right, so we have Leviticus chapter 25, verse 10. And ye shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
Go ahead.
A jubilee shall the 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed.
Now that's the third time he done told you that.
Yeah.
Third time he done told you that. You might want to pay attention to that and get a great understanding of what he's trying to tell you. We ain't already laid it out, but go study it for yourself. Go ahead and read.
For it is a jubilee. It shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession.
And that's what he's talking about. Everybody going back to their own land. When he come back, he's gonna divide everybody back up. Israel going back where they going, and the Greeks, the Irish, everybody going back to their own land.
So how can Gentiles, Japanese, Germans, Chinese be the church?
They can't.
They going back to their own land when this happened.
Brother, the church, 1 Corinthians 10 tell you where the church started. Acts 3 tell you where the church started. That's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
The church that was in the wilderness.
Yeah. He was calling them congregation all through the law.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But see, the folks don't like that kind of talk. They don't like that kind of talk, bro. But we can go to the New Testament and prove that.
I promise. I just got to ask questions, man. Questions be popping up.
All praise.
When you read the scriptures, like, wait a minute.
Yep, exactly, bro. Isaiah the 13. Isaiah the 13, 1 through 16. I'm going to keep my mouth closed. Let the brother go and read. Isaiah the 13, 1 through 16. Hebrew, when you get it, go ahead and feed the people.
All right, so with Isaiah 13.
Mm-hmm.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain. Mm-hmm. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the noble. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my righteousness.
Now he talking about, well, we're gonna let the book tell you. Go ahead.
The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
Uh-huh.
The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
Now that's Yahweh Zabaoth, the Lord or the Master or God of armies. This is when he coming back with his whole host of angels. But keep reading, Hebrew.
Verse 5. Mm-hmm. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Go ahead.
Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Go ahead.
Therefore, all hands shall be faint.
Yes, sir.
And every man's heart shall melt. They shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
See, now all you big talking jokers around here gonna be shaking like a baby back, you know what? When he hit the scene, get down or lay down. Go ahead, brother.
Behold, verse 9. The day of the Lord cometh, cruel, but with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and ye shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
See, the day of the Lord, the year of rest, he ain't coming back to shake hands and kiss babies. No. He ain't coming back for that. He gonna be separating the people. He gonna be killing the people. He gonna be judging unrighteousness. That day of the Lord, man.
You got a lot of work
to get some rest. It's got to be some peace, and you don't get peace until you start doing some killing.
I promise.
That's the only way you get peace. Peace never comes without conflict. Never. And you don't take over kingdoms by asking. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 10. And the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light.
It sounds like what everything we read in Revelation and Matthew and Joel look like the same thing we've been reading. Go ahead, brother, about the day of the Lord.
The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Ooh, look like that's like the eclipse day, no?
I promise.
Go ahead.
Because boy, it was dark. I promise it was dark.
Hey, and when Yeshua was the Passover lamb, didn't it get dark in the middle of the day?
It did.
When he was on that cross, they said it was about the hour of prayer. It got real dark that day during the daytime. He just gonna keep repeating doing the same thing. He ain't got to change.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I will punish the world for their evil. I thought he was saving the world.
No, you can't read.
Okay, I don't want to go out though.
You can't read that.
And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease.
Yes, sir.
And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
You see that? All you proud, self-righteous Negroes, egotistical Negroes, narcissistic Negroes, he gonna lay you down. I told you, just get down or lay down. You can either bow now or you can bow later, but you gonna bow, and some of y'all gonna pay with blood. And once you pay with blood, you gonna wake up after he kill you. He gonna wake you up and kill you forever in the lake. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
Because there ain't gonna be many left. Go ahead.
Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall be removed out of her place.
You see that? What? You see that? The earth sitting on foundation. He said, I'm going to shake the heaven. The earth going to be a worldwide earthquake. Where you going to run? Worldwide earthquake. Where you running to? Go ahead. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. On my phone, I lost my verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. See, that's why they want to be the church.
You see that?
Yeah.
Hey man, this ain't no nothing to be played with. Jeremiah, Isaiah 14. Go to Isaiah 14. Read that 1 through 16. Then we're gonna do some skipping.
All right. Flip on over to Isaiah 14.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
In the day of rest, he gonna have mercy on the remnant. Go ahead, brother.
And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Yay.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. For
wait a minute, hold up. What do you mean the children of Israel are going to possess the stranger?
That's what it say.
Is that what they say?
But the stranger is supposed to be the church. They the church.
Well, we just read in 13, he's going to be killing the strangers. And the ones he don't kill, they going to cleave to Israel, and Israel going to possess them. Don't sound like that how they be trying to spin that John 3:16. No, they don't sound like that. But keep on reading. I ain't gonna get into that. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives, for whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. It shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. In the day of the Lord, in the year of rest, in Messiah's kingdom, in the intermission, he gonna give you rest. We've been reading about the day and the year of the Lord all through this lesson.
But all this stuff gonna be going on in the 7,000 years. The killing, the recompense, the redemption, the separating, the taking back, the owning of slaves, all that. If you ain't on the right side of this party, you got problems.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, bro.
Middle of 3. And from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressors ceased?
Yes, sir.
The golden city ceased.
Yes, sir.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepters of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Ooh-wee.
He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
You see that? Go ahead.
The whole earth is at rest.
The whole earth is at what?
Is at rest.
This is 1,000-year millennium rest right here, man. This is 7,000 years. After he can do but beating the brakes off these jokers. He can do running them through with the sword. It ain't gonna be a pretty sight. But guess what? Ain't nobody gonna have rocks in their jaw did. Bet not. I bet you gonna be able to get a joker to do everything. When they be burying them bodies for 7 months, I bet you gonna get some jokers to do right then. Go ahead, bro.
End of verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. Hail from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Ooh-wee.
Stirred up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Yes, sir.
And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? That thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
See, this is when Yeshua got Satan, the king of Babylon. He done put him in that pit for 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. All your pomp and circumstance and all that stuff you've been doing is over with. This the day of rest, man. Go ahead, brother.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Yes, sir.
Son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Mm-hmm.
But thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit.
Come on now.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms?
See, they gonna be looking at that cold-footed bastard like this the dude that caused all the confusion? Him? This joker right here. They're gonna be looking at it with disgust and disdain. Like, man, I can't believe this is joker that was doing everything. You don't want to be down there with him, brothers and sisters. But I ain't gonna get into that. I want to get into that. That's another lesson. 21 through 23, then we're gonna skip one more again. Read 21 through 23, bro.
Verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
You see that? He killing everything wicked. Go ahead.
For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord.
Hey, it's just like David told you, I'm killing everything that pisses up against the wall.
Yep.
I ain't leaving no men in your family. No men that follow the Satan. No men that follow wickedness. I'm killing everything that pisses against the wall. He ain't leaving nothing. I told you he coming through like a 7.0 on a Richter scale, and he will not miss. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 23. I will also make it a possession. A possession for the bitter and pools of water. And I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts.
Woo. I'm going to sweep it with a broom of destruction, said the Lord. Oh, skip down to 31, read 31 through 32.
Howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou, whole Palestina, art dissolved, for there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times. What shall one then answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it.
Yes, sir. The poor of his people gonna trust in that. So live. Let's go to Jeremiah. Well, that don't sound good to me, bro.
That's all we got to look forward to, though.
That's it, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
But he doing all this in the day of his rest. He gonna do all this stuff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't on the right side of that Shabbat day, man, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Jeremiah 25, and we got about 3 more after that. Oh man, we got about 3 more after that. Jeremiah 25. We're gonna probably skip that next one. But read that Jeremiah 25, 14 through 29, Hebrew.
All right, so we had Jeremiah 25, verse
Hold
14.
on. Read, start at 15.
All right, so we had Jeremiah 25,
15.
verse 15. Still go to 29?
I may cut some of it out, but go read. I'll tell you what. Yeah, read. Let's keep reading. I'll tell you when it's skipped.
Okay. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of his fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord has sent me, to wit Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and an astonishment and hissing and a curse as it is this day. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Askelon, and Azah, and Acharon, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the uttermost corners, and all the kings of Arabia. All
you Arab, he getting y'all too. Go ahead.
And all the kings of the mingled people.
And he keep talking about these mingled people, all these folk that have mingled seeds and mingled mindsets and took on the ways of Egypt and Babylon and Islam. All y'all ones that falling out the Zidonians. All y'all jokers got these not only physically mixed, but all you jokers that's spiritually and mentally mixed. He got something for you. Keep reading.
That dwell in the desert. And all the kings of Zamir, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the kings of Shishak shall drink.
That's another name for Babylon, but go ahead and read.
Shall drink after them. Therefore, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, spew and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I shall send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
You gonna surely drink. I'm gonna take this cup and I'm gonna shove it down your throat. He didn't leave off one nation of Japhet He didn't leave out one nation of Ham. He didn't leave out none of the doggone, even some of the Shemite nations. He gonna get them all. He gonna get all of y'all that's bowed down to idols, that's polluting the earth and polluting his people. He got something for you. Go ahead and read, bro.
Verse 29. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should ye be utterly unpunished?
Nope.
Ye shall not be punished, for I will call for a sword upon all the for upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts.
He said, I done brought destruction on my city, and y'all think y'all gonna get out of it? No, y'all gonna get it too.
Ye
Y'all
shall
gonna get
not
it
be
worse.
unpunished.
Huh?
It said, you shall not be unpunished.
You should not be unpunished. I done brought punishment on the city that called by my name, and y'all think y'all ain't gonna get nothing?
Mm-hmm.
No, it don't work like that. Hey, y'all write down Psalm 110. Y'all know what it say. Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at thy right hand until I make that enemy thy footstool. You understand? He's a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Y'all already know what that say, so write that down, Psalm 110. For those you don't, write it down, go read it. 1 Corinthians 15, we got one more after that. 1 Corinthians 15, we got one more after that. First Corinthians, we're going to read 24 through 22. Hey, I tell you what started at 23, man. And read down. Read down to 28.
All right. So we had 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
But every man in his own order. Christ the first fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Afterward, they that are Christ at his coming.
The first fruit, going back to the feast days and the Shabbat days, coming up, just as Christ was raised up died on Passover, you understand, was way before the Father, then was raised up on the 8th day and all that. We gonna be in that same order. The first, after the first fruit, go ahead and read.
Verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Then cometh the end. He shall have delivered up the kingdom of God, even the Father.
Mm-hmm.
When he shall have put down all rule and authority and power.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet.
We just got to read about some of that. Go ahead and read.
The last enemy. Okay. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
Yes, sir.
He have put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is expected, which did put all things under him.
Yes, sir.
And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him. And put all things under him, that God may be all in all.
That's it. He gonna hand it after he done set everything straight in that 7,000 years. Then the 8th day, he gonna hand everything over to the Father. He even gonna subject himself to the Father. So that 7,000 years, like we said, going on into that 8th day. Still reading about the feast days in different ways and different scenarios. Let's go to the last plate. 1 Peter, the 3. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 Peter. 2 Peter. My bad. 2 Peter, the 3. 2 Peter, the 3. We're going to read 1 through 13 and we out of here. When you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
All right, so we have 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that ye be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
There's a bunch of them. Go ahead and read.
And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
But hey, don't worry about that. He coming, but I bet you ain't gonna want to see him when he get here. But he coming. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
There it is again. There it is again. That day, in that day, is kept in store. Go ahead and read, brother.
But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing,
Mm-hmm.
that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years,
Yes, sir.
and 1,000 years as one day.
Been reading that the whole lesson. Showed it to you on the slide, but go ahead and read.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering toward usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be? What manner of person ought ye to be in all holy convocations? In all holy conversation and godliness.
See, that's what I've been trying to stress to y'all the whole time. Well, y'all know the day of the Lord gonna come like this here. And the heavens gonna be moved out of their place. The earth gonna be moved out of their place. The heavens gonna be on fire. The earth gonna be on fire. Folks gonna be getting killed left and right. Blood gonna come up to the horse and rider. They're gonna be burying bodies for 7 days. Man, if y'all know all this here, man, y'all need to be treating Saturday a whole lot different, no? Sound like to me. Because the day of the Lord, that Saturday ain't gonna be nothing nice for those who ain't been doing it right. If you know all this gonna happen, you believe all this happen, might want to straighten up. Might want to put down the egos and the emotions and the feelings.
I promise.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12. Looking forward and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Man, he burning up the moon, the sun, the star, everything getting burned up. Everything. You want some of this here? You want some of this here? When he came down the mountain, wasn't it on fire? When the trumpets blowing? Wasn't the word being given out? Wasn't the people shaking? It's going to be the same thing when he come back the second time. Come on now. Go ahead.
13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
That's the lesson. That's the lesson, brother.
All praise.
All praise to the Most High. Let me get out of this here. And get out the screen share. Stop screen share. Stop. All right. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I hope everybody got some understanding what we was trying to bring to you. All praise to the Most High for his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. Want to thank my little brother here, always ready to put in that work. What time y'all coming on tomorrow, D?
Lord willing, 11. We got the lesson and everything ready, so Lord willing, 11 o'clock. All praise.
I got my little brother and his rib gonna be on at 11 o'clock. Y'all going Aquila and Priscilla Ministries. Aquila and Priscilla Ministry tomorrow at 11 o'clock on YouTube. I'll be reposting it on Order Melchizedek, What the Book Say Radio, and the Truth Network. I'll be reposting it after they get through. And then we got Tuvaya. I know I'm trying to get out your way, nephew. Be on at 10:30. He gonna be doing a Passover lesson. I appreciate him doing that because saved me from having to do one. But he'll be doing that. And tonight, D-Ro them be on 11. I can't remember what time Eliyahu come on. I think he come on right after you, don't he?
Either right after or sometimes it be during.
All right, so hey, y'all got a plethora. Y'all got a plethora. Y'all ain't got no excuse. Get this book, get this word, man. These Most High dealing with these brothers in a special way. Y'all go check them out. Even the sisters, man. And your real been doing an excellent job reading, man. And so, hey, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, the work that y'all doing. All praise to the Most High. If you're coming down for Passover unleavened bread, y'all need to hit us up, man. We're trying to make sure we got enough food for everybody, and make sure everybody is accommodated. We got the discounts on the hotel. Y'all let us know. Please let us know as soon as you can, because Passover and unleavened bread is coming up next week. And if you ain't hit us up, y'all need to hit us up so we'll know what we got to do. Sisters, brothers, whoever doing the cooking, hey, y'all know what y'all got to do. It's time for you to kick in. Let's get it done. All praise to the Most High. Amnon be dispensating the word tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then I'll be doing the reading for the brother tomorrow. Most High will not be doing the reading for Amnon. He'll be dispensating the word at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Too bad y'all to change 9:45. Man, I told you, man. Stop trying to rush me, bro. I'm getting off. You said 10:30. I'm getting off time to do 10:30. But we finna get off here. B-Roll, you got anything else you want to say to the people?
Man, just thank y'all for allowing me to come on, man, and put in the work, man. And just keep in mind, man, we got this Passover coming up, man. Just keep in mind, man, gotta have them pure hearts, man, pure minds, man.
All praise. I ain't gonna pay. What'd you say, Hebrew?
I'm gonna go over it tomorrow a little bit.
All praise, man. Y'all check them out now. Y'all check my brew out. Y'all check my brew and his rib out. I ain't gonna play no outro because my nephew trying to rush me off the scene. So I ain't gonna play no outro. All praise to the Most High for y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. We gonna get out the way and get out of here. We love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Shabbat. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Excellent lesson, bro.
All praise to the Most High, bro. I'll holler at you. One love to you and the family.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right.